Welcome back everybody to Honey's Cooking. Today we're going to be making tiramisu with an easy homemade recipe. Okay, to start we're going to make sure we preheat our oven to 400 degrees and then we're going to need to fill our baking sheet with parchment paper. After we've done that and we're ready to start, we're going to get our eggs out and we're going to separate our eggs. We need to separate 4 eggs. I'm going to do that by putting the yolks in this one, and I'm going to put the whites in this bowl so we're able to mix them up. Okay, this is our last egg. If I can get it to crack. He's a stubborn egg. Like that. Make sure we get all the whites out and the yolk in that one. Okay, now that we've got our eggs separated, we're going to beat our egg whites until they form soft peaks. We want to make sure that as we go, I'm not going to add it yet, but we're going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar. We want to start beating it so the peaks start to form first. As you can see, we've got our nice peaks formed from our egg whites. Now we want to add 2 tablespoons of sugar to our egg whites. So I'm just going to add 1, 2. So I'm going to mix these up real quick. Okay, now we're going to go over to our yolks. And what we want to do is we want to add 2/3 cup of sugar to our yolks. So I'm going to pour that in there. And we're going to whip this up using our mixer again until it's thick and pale. So we want it to be a pale yellow color and kind of thick. So I'm going to start mixing this. Okay, now as you can see, we've got our nice pale yellow color. That tells us that it's mixed. It's a thick mixture. We want to fold in our whites that's made the peaks. We want to fold our peaks into our yellow. So I'm just going to spoon it in here and gradually fold it. And you're going to do that until all of your whites is mixed into here. Okay, we've got that all mixed in there, as you can see. Now we're going to add 1 cup of flour. And I don't want to add the whole thing, so we're going to gradually mix that in. Started mixing it here. I'll add the rest of it in. Now that we've started mixing that in, we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. So I just measure out about 1/2 the spoon here. Put that in. Then I'm going to finish mixing it and folding it all in together. Okay, now we're going to pour our batter. We've got it mixed up and we're ready to pour it into our pan and bake it. So I'm going to use 1/2 of my batter for the Ladyfingers because I make the layer of cake instead of the individual Ladyfingers. So I'm going to use 1/2 of my batter into my pan and we're going to cook that at 400 degrees for 8 minutes. Here it is in our pan and it's ready. This is 1/2 of our mixture and we're going to take it over to the oven at 400 degrees and we're going to bake it for 8 minutes. Okay, while we're waiting for our cake to cook, I'm going to show you guys how to make mascarpone, which if you buy in the store is really expensive, so it's handy to be able to make our own out of 3 simple ingredients that you might have in your house. Stay with us to see how to do that. The first thing we need for our mascarpone is 8 ounces of cream cheese. So I'm just going to put that in a bowl. Second ingredient, 2 tablespoons of butter. So, 2 tablespoons of butter. And then lastly, 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. Okay, now we have 1/4 cup of our heavy whipping cream. And we're going to pour that into our bowl of our cream cheese and 2 tablespoons of butter, which needs to be soft. So we're going to pour this over. And all we have to do is blend this together until it's smooth and you have mascarpone for your tiramisu. And this is our finished mascarpone. Okay guys, our next step before we get to put our beautiful cake together, keep watching us to get to that point. First we got to make our cream. So what we want to do for our cream, we're going to mix 6 egg yolks. We've already separated the eggs, so I'm going to drop those in there in our saucepan. And 3/4 cup of sugar. Drop that in as well, and I'm going to mix this up. Now that our mixture is together and mixed well, we're going to add 2/3 cup of milk to our mixture. I'm going to stir this all together, and then we're going to take it over to our stovetop, about medium heat, let it boil, and we're going to let it boil for 1 minute. Okay guys, we've just taken our yolk, sugar, and milk mixture off of the stove. We let it boil, and now we are ready to put it in the refrigerator for 20 minutes to cool. Okay, while we're waiting on our cream to cool in the refrigerator, we're going to whip up our whipping cream. So we're going to mix about 1.5 cups of whipping cream, 1/2 teaspoon of our vanilla, and we're going to use probably about 3 spoons of our sugar. I usually do it to taste. Okay, and here is our whipping cream. We've got our 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla and our 3 spoons of sugar and this nice fluffy cloud of whipping cream. Okay, our cream is ready. We just got it out of the refrigerator. It's nice and cooled, and we want to put our mascarpone into our cream mixture. So we're just going to dump it all in there. And then we're going to mix it up. Okay, we've got our cream mixture nice and mixed together with the mascarpone, nice and smooth as you guys can see, and we are ready to start making our tiramisu. Where would tiramisu be without our coffee? So here's my honey with our coffee. You're going to need about 2 shots of espresso, and I will go get our Ladyfingers cakes, and stay with us so you can see how to put this beautiful cake together. Okay, time to put this beautiful tiramisu together. So first we're going to take our first layer of Ladyfingers. You can spread the Ladyfingers out if you want. I've got the cake, so I'm going to put my first layer of cake down. Our coffee, espresso, and I'm just going to spoon this out across, kind of pouring it, and let it soak in. We're going to use half of it for the first layer and half for our second layer. Okay. Now that we've got it soaked in, we've got our coffee flavor starting there. It smells amazing. We're going to add half of our mascarpone mixture. So I'm just going to pour this over the top, and we're going to spread it. And after we do that, we're going to add half of our whipping cream. Half of our whipping cream. I'm just going to judge by eye and say that's about half, and we're going to spread it out across. It's okay if you make little bald spots like I just did, because this is the middle layer. Okay, we've got that all spread in our middle layer. Now we're ready to add the second layer of cake. So we're going to plop that down. I'm going to push it on the sides a little bit. Add our coffee to soak in. Like I said, you want to kind of use a spoon to help it spread out so you don't have coffee soaked into one spot and then none in the rest of it. Here we are. Look how it's soaking in. It's going to be so good. There we go. We're going to add the rest of our mascarpone. Spread that across. And then we're going to do the same with our whipping cream and top it off with cocoa. Okay, as you can see, we finished smoothing that out. There's our whipping cream, the top layer. Wipe my finger a minute. Now we're going to sprinkle the cocoa over our tiramisu for the final finishing touch. This part is just so it looks beautiful when we cut into it, and everybody looks at it and takes pictures. So we're just going to sprinkle this across for a nice even top. Once this is sprinkled and you've got it covered to where you like it, we're going to put it in the refrigerator and let it sit and cool for a few hours, just so it can set up. Basically, as long as your family can tolerate until you can take it out and eat it. Okay, there's our finished tiramisu. Look how beautiful that looks. We're going to put it in the refrigerator and let it sit. And just a spoiler alert, it's going to look even more beautiful when you cut into it. So we'll see that in a minute. We'll take it to the fridge. Here's our finished tiramisu. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. We'll see you next time.